Hello everyone, Callie here. We have finally finished the Sea of Stars, and let me tell you, I have a lot to say about this game. If you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you love RPG content, JRPG content, let's jump into the review. So first and foremost, shout out to Sabotage Studio, the indie developer based in Quebec, Canada, that actually created the Sea of Stars. They are an indie developer studio, and this was their attempt at a RPG, classic retro style JRPG, and honestly, I have to say, I truly think that it paid out and that their gamble worked. This game, from the presentation, to the graphics, to the atmosphere, to the music, to just the camaraderie between the characters, everything works in this game. So the basic premise of the story is that there's these two young children, Zale and Valerie, and they are to become the new Solstice warriors, Zale representing the sun and Valerie representing the moon. And what's really cool about this sequence is you get to kind of watch them grow, watch them train, watch their relationship, and they're more kind of like a brother and sister relationship, and you get to kind of watch that grow from the very beginning of the game. Now along the way you meet some new friends, you meet some new allies, and I can't go into too many details because I don't want to give any spoilers, but the cast and crew that you meet along the way are hearty, jolly, and just fun to be around. So I really enjoyed the characters and the premise of the story in this respect. One thing I would have liked to have seen more is definitely more character development between Zale and Valerie. Sometimes their personalities can fall a little flat, and as if they're just going along with the story instead of actually growing as characters. So that is a con for me. Next, I would like to touch on the battle system. Now, the battle system is really interesting to me. While it's simple, it's also satisfying. I just like the way that it takes it back to the classic retro style turn-based system where each character has attacks, skills, items, magic, and even crossover team attacks. It kind of reminds me somewhat of Chrono Cross, which I know that this game was inspired by Chrono Trigger, but I'm more of a Chrono Cross fan myself. Don't sue me, and if you do, I don't care. I love Chrono Cross, and while I was playing this game, sometime I was getting flashbacks of some things that I saw in Chrono Cross. So it was really cool to be playing a modern classic style JRPG while also feeling a little bit of nostalgia as I'm playing. I really like how the battle system allows you to kind of take turns and decide who you would like to use for each turn. So if you would like to use Zale this time, you can, or if you switch over, you can use Valerie. It really doesn't force you to use any particular character in any sort of order. It's all based on your preference. I also enjoy how interactive the battle system is. I love holding A to charge up Zale's Sun Fireball. I love pressing the buttons on the boomerang. If you guys are anything like me, I always get into a rhythm as I'm doing my boomerang this with Valerie because it's addicting and so fun. I absolutely love it. I also enjoy the game's way of defending yourself at the right moment when the attack comes from the enemy. So A+ for just the interaction that you get as you're fighting in this game. You're never just idly waiting to the side. You're always engaged and you're always active. And for that, I think this battle system is phenomenal. While it is a little bit simple, sometimes less is better. And I truly appreciate Sea of Stars for giving us the ability to interact as we're fighting. It's very satisfying. Next, I'd like to talk about the travel and the way that and kind of the platforming. The platforming in this game is really refreshing for a JRPG. Most JRPGs, if you guys are with me, sometimes they can be a little bulky when it comes to platforming and traversing the world. However, Sea of Stars, you're climbing, you're crawling, you're walking on the side of mountains, you're climbing up leaf branches and stones, and you're jumping over bridges, you're jumping in the water, you're swimming, you're going underwater. I love the way that you get around in this game. At times it feels like a platformer, so that is really fun and satisfying to me. There are also prompts that you can do while you are on the map, such as a grapple hook and using this sort of wind technique to push boulders and push bricks around. I love the interaction of the map, and I think that's exactly what we needed. Also, the ability to sail and the ability to walk around and have a world map. Literally, again, it's giving me those Chrono Cross vibes. So I'm so excited. When I got that boat, I was so happy to actually be using the boat and controlling the ship to go around to the different islands and different points of the story. It was just so excellent to do so, and I always love having that world map because it gives me that classic JRPG feeling of traversing the world and moving around in the world. Next, I will briefly talk about the story, and of course I have no spoilers in this review. For me, the story is probably the weaker part of the game. While it's not terrible, it's not exactly the most groundbreaking JRPG or RPG story I've ever seen. At times it can be a little dull, but one thing the story does do, and it does it well, is it stays consistent. I like the villains, and I like how the villains were trying to obviously do and have their way, but the story is not really anything groundbreaking. It's particularly a safe story, but when you have excellent combat, excellent music, excellent platforming, so that can be forgiving. Another thing that we have to touch on, speaking of music, is the music. We also had Yoshinori Mitsuda of Chrono fame appear as a special guest in this game soundtrack, and I really enjoy the soundtrack in this game, guys. It's just the music is consistent with the theme, the music is consistent on what's happening in the moment, and the music is just really good in this game. I found myself humming certain tunes, and I like how when you're in the tavern you can actually listen to the game soundtrack with your party members. I think the music in this game is top notch, and when you have great music, you have great atmosphere, and that's a top notch for the Sea of Stars. And also bonus plus for the awesome animated cutscenes. I always felt like I was watching a TV show. Every time I saw one of these cutscenes, it was just a treat to see. So shout out to the animation studio. I really enjoyed these cutscenes as I saw them, and it's just, I could watch a whole show in this style and never get tired of it. Ultimately, Sea of Stars is a genuine, sincere love letter to those who prefer and love the old style JRPG and RPGs. It's very simple in nature, but also it has a ton of heart and a ton of charm. So Sabotage Studios has done a wonderful job of capturing the essence of those retro style classic RPGs. And guys, that about wraps up the review. It is my first one I've ever done for my channel, so please have some grace with me. I hope that you enjoyed this review. There will be many more on this channel. Overall, I would give the Sea of Stars an 8.7 out of 10. 8.7 out of 10. While I am thoroughly impressed with the game's graphics, battle system, music, and atmosphere, I do believe the story, character development, and things like that could have been a tad bit stronger for my liking. There are some mishaps and there are some dull points in the story, and it's not a perfect story, nor is it a perfect game. However, I can feel the heart, I can feel the sincerity, and you know what? If there were to be a follow-up to this game, I would think it would almost be perfection. Sabotage Studios has put everyone on notice in the RPG and JRPG community. I think big time developers should be nervous as well, because Sabotage Studios are here to stay. So that is my opinion of this game. It remains to be seen how well this game can stand the test of time. However, on my first playthrough, I have enjoyed it, and I'll give it the official seal of 8.7 on the CaliQ review. Thank you guys for the support. Be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.